but we start looking to other people for our self-esteem. And, sometimes we find ourselves looking in broken mirrors to get a reflection of ourselves, right? And the greatest tragedy is when you look into a broken mirror to see if you're pretty, right? And you're gonna let that person tell you about your inner qualities. And the greatest tragedy is when you look in a broken mirror and you're gonna change your face to try to look good in a broken mirror. Man, whew, I'm so glad to be free from that.
That was fantastic. That is incredible. And that's it. That's literally it.
Yeah.
Like, when you can free yourself from that cycle.
Yeah.
And it's a trap.
It's rough.
It's crazy. It just keeps you there. And but that's what I think I keep seeing in your journey, like, to see you at this stage in your career, to still be growing, still be pushing. I mean, for people who don't know, like, I have to share this because it's what I find, and this is the only time I get to tell everyone, is, like, for me to see you on set, busy, like, I mean, for anyone who's never been on set, it can be a stressful environment. It's high pressure, like, you're acting, you got to know your lines, you got to interact. And
the sun's going down.
The sun's going down. Will would literally come back in the trailer and he'd be reading in between being on set. So reading spiritual texts, spiritual books in between. And I just saw that and I was like, wow, like, it takes so much effort and determination and hunger to be filling each and every gap with growth.
Yeah.
And so for anyone who's listening to this podcast while they're driving to work, while they're commuting, while they're editing a video, however you're consuming this podcast, I want you to know, like, you're doing that same thing. You're committing to growth.
Committing to growth.
In your gaps when you could just be doing something else. Like, you could have been in your trailer, I don't know, doing what people do in their trailers. I don't know. I don't know what people do in their trailers.
No, that's my past, Jay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't do that in my trailer no more. I'm in there by myself now.
Yeah, or with me. And we were, and just, I would see that dedication. And I think if, to find time in between when you're filming a movie and it's, big budgets and all this, everything, and your focus was here.
Yeah.
Your focus was here.
Yeah.
Even in amongst all of that, that was truly inspirational. And, that behind the scenes look at your internal journey has had such a big impact on my life. Wow. It's a no excuses journey.
Yeah. It's the only thing to do, right? So, and that's to learn, right? We have to free ourselves from the darkness of our own ignorance. And you wouldn't call something a problem if you understood it. The problem is you don't understand it, right? That's why you're calling it a problem, right? You don't call things problems that you have complete comprehension of. Right, so the process of freeing yourself from the pain and the misery of your difficulties and your problems is in, constantly cultivating a broader comprehension of the deeper, absolute truth of what's actually happening. Right? And one of the things that I learned is that if I feel bad, if I'm unhappy, if I'm upset, if I'm disrupted or disturbed, the only thing that could do that is my ignorance. That's the only thing that creates misery is you slip into a sort of hopelessness of not being able to figure it out, and I just, for me, I've gotten to the place that life is school, right? not getting the promotion you want at work, that's school. Get it, figure it out. You know, someone in your family is sick. That's school. That's like, life is the greatest teacher there is. You just have to be willing to learn and recognizing that your pain and your suffering is the thing that the universe is poking at. So you recognize that's where you're ignorant.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't be having those struggles in those areas if you had a deep, broad comprehension of the fundamental realities of those situations.
Yeah, it's so beautifully said.